Okay, who wants a tour of Gully Garms HQ? Or who wants a tour of the space where you see on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Tilt every single day? Let's have a look together. Hello everybody, it's John Connor, aka Spencer in a leather jacket. So today I wanted to use this opportunity to kind of show you around the place where you're seeing either on YouTube videos or any sort of means of content. Now I've been in this premises in Mount Sorrel in the East Midlands of Loughborough since 2015. Hopefully at this point I can show a picture of me signing the agreement to basically rent and move in here. We've got a big space and a lot of rooms and a lot of little pockets. So let me use this video as an opportunity to kind of show you a little bit more about what is going on with all this space and what it all means. And I'm gonna start by just kind of moving around here. So this area over here, now this absolute maze, this is sort of one part of where the dispatch used to be, where we used to bag all of the orders with multiple members of staff. Here at the minute is an enjambment of all sorts of nonsense, from books to bales to hangers to things like this. And I guess one thing you need to know about vintage and secondhand clothing companies is that the whole process of it, I mean, maybe this is just us, but the simple approach of things is that you have a lot of clothes, you have a lot of things, and it's messy. I remember used to go to ASOS and there would just be so much stuff around, and I think it's a part and parcel of this kind of industry. Anyway, let's get back to it. We actually had this turned into a extended kitchen. Doesn't really need it now. This used to be another office, and this here, these are all my actual personal items that I keep forgetting to take home. Underneath here, you can see a Pac-Man machine with an Eeyore, a helmet on a vase and a basketball. So like I said, there's a lot of random stuff. Look how cool that is though. Old photo. Yeah, absolute scenes. So much stuff absolutely everywhere. Oh my God, look. Some vintage Adidas tennis racket. Like I said, there's no rules, no rhymes, no reason. You've seen what me and Marge are like. You've seen how we operate. This space is basically a physical version of what we are like. Now this is one part of our day-to-day business, is these bundles, and currently my 5x4 meter Afghan rug, which is super cool. I just had to say how big it is because it doesn't put it into scale. These are just some of the parcels, and they organise them all down here at the moment. This over here, I know, everywhere looks like an absolute shithole because it is. But no, seriously, this is just stuff that we've recently had come through with how we saw stuff, and we're just in the process of organising it. Obviously, as we're a very small team, and a lot of what we do at the minute is the day-to-day of, like, say, the tilt, the preparing, the washing, our laundrette, and all stuff like that. We don't really find ourselves with as much time to organise this as we would like to, so it's very slow, incremental changes of like moving all this stuff about. I'm going to introduce you to two of the people who you see all the time. This is Moody Sama, and this is Benji Colson. They were both previous models, and Moody has gone on to do amazing things, represented by ASOS, actually friends with Skepta now, pretty cool flex, and Benji Colson was in a Netflix movie, which I'm going to put somewhere here. It was like some old Christmas film, it was quite funny, but yeah, he's sick, they're all sick. So as we take a little walk into the TARDIS, aka this room that this Banksy cut out just seems to be looking at us with, this is now space that's been used for a multitude of things. Now in this space specifically, the initial start of it was, it used to be the studio there. Hopefully there's some photos and things I can kind of use at this point. But yeah, this used to be the studio space that we had. And then over the years, it became sort of surplus storage unit in terms of, you know, the overfill of the warehouse. Essentially, all of this was used for like one big warehouse, and then we had surplus stock in here. When we had private appointments and people that could shop the store in-house, it was really cool because they got to just like explore like the Aladdin's cave that was Gully essentially. Any vintage company knows how many pallets you accrue when you import from the States and import via pallets. They are everywhere, and luckily I had a lot of people who came and collected them. Facebook Marketplace is a great thing. Although we one time did get loads of these plastic pallets, and they turned out to be worth a bit of money, so I flipped them instead. So there's just a lot of stuff up here. More clothes, more rails, more structures to organise. We've got rails, we've got bits, we've got bobs, we've got shoes. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff. And this is a completely separated room. It's got like a corrugated roof, and that is the door to the shutters. Sounds like I'm just giving you a how to burgle me, but yeah, that's basically this room. So then we take a little walk into here, and outside this photo, which by the way, no family member I have is on this. It's just something that Marge picked up from an auction that we went to a few years ago, maybe last year. Now this is one of our storage rooms, and yes, there's absolute stuff everywhere. Marge's office, which is gonna be happy to show you the state of it. Someone on this comment is gonna go, who's robbed Gully? They've not. This is just how we've operated. Guys, the thing is when I sort of profess about like how hard we work, essentially what we do is we work so hard on the system of what we do, i.e. like getting stuff prepared, doing all that, that we don't factor in time to like fix things because we're just focused on what we're actually doing. Like if we put time into restoring this place, I don't own this building, why am I going to restore it? Do you know what I mean? Spencer and Marge. Right, so let's go out of this room. Now, as you can see here, this corrugated roof here, that's where we just was in the other room. This is where the other entrance of it is. And there's people up there that look like they're trying to come down, but I don't know what they're doing. Oh, they've gone now. Somebody else just came down a minute ago and was just like, what is this? I'm like, shop, why? Well, not a shop, but yeah, anyway. Now this room is a funny one. This is something that we don't actually use as a room, but is another storage space. And it's got my dad's kayak, it's got all sorts of stuff, and absolute Kate Moss on the room. And Kate Moss means actual moss, i.e. it's green. I don't want to keep stuff in here because it doesn't seem clean. So this is just where like random bits and bobs are stored, and some of the systems on that. Look at that, flipping heck. Don't know what's more like intriguing, that system or that roof. Looks like someone's painted it. So yeah, that's that room essentially. And another part of what we have now, we used to have this building, and when I started to downsize I had to get rid of it because that was just one of our studios and the office. But then we got rid of staff and we didn't use models for the studio, sadly, because of how things changed. So that was not needed anymore. Fun fact, that building costs the same as this one and this one. So we just thought, save half the money, keep basically plenty of space. So this is the quality control building. Now we're going to find Marge in here as well. I'm pretty sure we'll see her actually through this window. Let's have a little look. She'll be there because I've just said to her, can you get out of the way? And there she is. Hang on. We can't see her, but she is there, aren't you?
I am here.
She is here. You won't be able to hear her. Yeah. So yeah, the light might be a bit mad in here, so I'm just going to have to quickly set it up. So yeah, this is the quality control space. This is where we have washed the clothes since we've had this building, I think 2015. And yeah, this is where the ladies do all of the measuring on the table. The steamer's down there, like Marge is doing, preparing and getting all the bits out, and using these cages to kind of just store everything where it is. Sorry, I'm not actually crying, I was just coughing just then. But this space that we have now, so because of the sort of changing dynamic of how the business is working, a lot of this stuff is our Y2K branded and vintage stuff. Essentially what that means is this stuff is what we sell for kilos, what we sell at our kilo sale events. And for me, for the most part, it was what I was actually getting for Depop. As somebody who, personally, like I say, I'm not wearing any brands right now. This whole purpose and point of it is that I wanted to bring back like the love for unbranded and classic vintage rather than us just going in one direction at brands. Like, let's not forget about the unbranded stuff that's, in my opinion, cooler. So yeah, this is all organised mess, and we do have lots of stuff. Like I say, with a vintage business and doing clothing and fashion and stuff like this, this is the sort of natural habitat of how things are. You got to remember, we've got clothes everywhere. We've got understood, organised bundles everywhere. We've got random leather Armani bags everywhere. Anyway, so yeah, lots and lots of rails down here. This is all of the stuff that comes out of here. But at this point now, we are just getting bits and bobs on the rails, organised for, you know, what we're doing. Let me take you upstairs and let's go and have a look into one of the final boss rooms before we kind of come back to this. Random bits just there for no reason. And we come up into this space. Now this is a room that I've had, and I had it used for a lot of different things. I'll be honest with you, in the time that I've had this space, I've probably had girlfriends, or I've had family situations, I've had people working in here in the same capacity that I had friends working in other places. This had been used for a multitude of different things, and I think at one point, which I can show you, it used to be Marge's office. She used to have this whole space as her office. Like, the space is absolutely wicked. It's like a great use of space. It's not been understood what we can do with it yet. It's kind of just the space above the quality control that we're kind of thinking, what can we do? But you got to remember, guys, I went from having 1,000 products to having 2,000 to having 10,000. And with that increase in volume, needed an increase in space. So a lot of what we did was expanding fast and expanding in the same area. So taking the first premises, realizing that the owner of that one had both of these other two as well, and seeing that we could have an opportunity to scale up within the same area that we was. Now the thing about this space is that I've had many different times where I've thought about what I could do with it. I thought this could be my YouTube space, this could be my podcast space, and it still can. But realistically at the moment, it's just used as empty space. And it is one of those rooms that we have with the empty space. If you look out there, you can see the swans. The swans are currently, they've just had their cygnets, and every year they do that. Obviously, every year they have new babies, the baby cygnets, and they just sit there. It's quite nice. Like I say, guys, that is the sort of space that we have. We've used so much space for so many different things, and we've been occupying this space for close to 10 years. And thinking about occupying a space for 10 years just shows that there's like so many different parts of the journey of realizing that the space can be used for this and it's used for that. Like I say, the room that used to be the first studio became the overfill for like the wholesaling stuff of like what we had online. Just X, Y, and Z. Like lots of space being used a lot of the time. You know, what would you do with that space that's in that room that I've got free? Comment some thoughts about what you could do with that and make sure that it's PG. Thank you for having a little MTV style cribs tour with me around Gully HQ. If you want to see anything more like this, let me know. I'm probably going to do it anyway. But yeah, the space that we have, I really am excited by what we're going to use it for, like things that are going to change. Like this whole warehouse space is massive. And I used to have thousands and thousands of items of clothing, but I don't want to do it in the same capacity. So I'm thinking, am I going to use this for kilo wholesales? Am I going to really use this space for my podcast? I don't know yet. The excitement is in the not knowing. So guys, as always, stay safe, stay sustainable, keep doing you, keep watching the videos if you like, keep trusting your own process and just enjoying your life. It's kind of simple. Lots of love. I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30.